Salam sejahtera, anda bersama saya Rizal Zulkafli dan ini Niaga AWANI. Kita mulakan dengan perkembangan luar negara. Saham di pasaran Asia dijangka tinggi mengekori prestasi di Bursa New York dan jangkaan pelan rangsangan di Amerika. Menurut laporan Reuters, pasaran juga mula mengambil kira kemenangan Demokrat di Amerika dan juga pakej rangsangan yang besar jika Joe Biden menang. Saham di Wall Street catat peningkatan pada penutup Rabu selepas Presiden Donald Trump umum akan bersetuju kepada beberapa pakej rangsangan kepada isi rumah dan juga bantuan kepada pekerja Amerika. Trump membuat pengumuman berkenaan menerusi dua tweet yang dikeluarkan.
Tweet ini dikeluarkan selepas Trump ingin batalkan rundingan dengan Demokrat dan hanya umum pakej baru rangsangan selepas pilihan raya. Pada dagangan Rabu, semua indeks dalam S&P 500 mencatatkan kenaikan. Trump dilaporkan ingin meluluskan bantuan $1,200 kepada isi rumah, bantuan gaji kepada perniagaan kecil dan bantuan gaji untuk syarikat penerbangan. Sebelum ini, Bank Pusat Amerika The Fed gesa kerajaan Amerika untuk berikan sokongan yang lebih besar kepada isi rumah dan perniagaan kecil yang masih terjejas akibat COVID-19. 2/3 daripada ekonomi Amerika dijana perbelanjaan pengguna. Rangsangan ini dilihat mampu untuk meningkatkan perbelanjaan pengguna, pendapatan permintaan dan seterusnya mempercepatkan pemulihan ekonomi Amerika yang terkesan akibat COVID-19. Rangsangan ini dijangka mampu tingkatkan jumlah pekerjaan dan mengurangkan pengangguran di Amerika. Dalam masa yang sama, naib Presiden Amerika Mike Pence dan Kamala Harris akan berdebat pada hari ini. Ini dijangka turut diperhatikan oleh pelabur. Sebelum ini, dalam debat Trump lawan Joe Biden, pasaran dilaporkan khuatir tentang keputusan pilihan raya Amerika. Pada penutup indeks Dow Jones naik hampir 2%, Nasdaq naik hampir 1.8% dan S&P 500 naik 1.7%. Antara saham yang mencatatkan kenaikan termasuk Levi Strauss dan syarikat penerbangan.
Well, the stimulus negotiations are off. Obviously, we're looking at the potential for standalone bills. There's about 10 things that we agree on, and if the Speaker is willing to look at those things on a piece-by-piece basis, then we're willing to look at it.
Dan ketika ini berlangsung debat antara naib Presiden Amerika Syarikat Mike Pence dan juga calon naib Presiden untuk Demokrat Kamala Harris, dan anda saksikan perkembangan tersebut yang kami akan bawakan sebentar saja lagi dalam jam-jam akan datang. Seterusnya kita ingin melihat kepada adakah pakej rangsangan bersasar Amerika Syarikat akan legakan pelabur dan juga bagaimanakah pelabur dan juga pengguna serta perniagaan melihat kepada pakej ini. Kita bersama dengan Shan Said, Ketua Pakar Ekonomi JUI. Shan, Trump tweeted that they will work on the aids for households, small businesses and airlines in the US. These aids will be smaller than the $2.2 trillion proposed by the Democrats. Would this be enough to support the recovery process in the US?
Not at all, Rizal. As you know, the political shenanigans are going up, and we are seeing more and more embarrassment for the Democrats because President Trump is in no mood to pass that bill, which the Democrats proposed of 2.4. So I think it will have a huge impact on many industries. Airlines are suffering a lot. They have already suffered $100 billion because of this COVID. Small businesses are out and many are bankrupt. So I think that is a huge drag on the economy. So if you see the second quarter, the economy shrank by 30%. I would not be surprised by seeing in the third quarter, economy shrinks by between 25 and 35%. So US economy is facing a huge challenge. And if this bill is not passed before the election, obviously there will be a lot of noise and there will be a lot of political heat is going up with every passing day.
So you believe the aids for the households, as small businesses and airlines will not be enough to support the third quarter recovery or the fourth quarter recovery even?
Not at all, because the airline industry is almost down. There is no travel. 95% people are not traveling in US. So I think it will be it won't have any effect on those industries, and those industries will continue to suffer. There are major layoffs coming in those sectors moving forward, and those industries need a massive bailout, not a small one.
Shan, yesterday, Chairman of the Fed, Jay Powell, urged the government to provide more stimulus. Would this new announcement enough to meet the targeted inflation rate put forth by the Fed?
You see, monetary policy has got certain limits, and Fed has done its job, and that monetary policy is not working. It is not stimulating growth. Now it comes to the federal government, whether they are willing to go aggressively with fiscal policy. Obviously, in these challenging times when recession is so deep, you need an amalgamation of monetary policy and fiscal policy. Only then you can come out of the recession. One policy alone cannot do the magic. So I think fiscal policy has to come into play. But right now, because of political heat is going up and both parties, Republican, Democrats, they're not budging. So I think this will have a huge impact on the U.S. economy. Fiscal policy has to come into play, and government has to play a major role in supporting many industries, which the government at the moment is not doing because of the bickering going on with Democrats and Republicans. So I think fiscal policy has to come, and both policies can do the magic, and they can get the U.S. economy out of this crisis.
And Shan, many new developments in just 24 hours in the US. Would this affect confidence among small businesses and possibly consumers as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. Rizal, it is not the US, but the whole world is watching this US election after 25 days. Everybody is very concerned because this election will give the future direction to the global economy and many economies around the world. So I think consumers, investors, everybody is concerned, everybody is very cautious, and this election after 3rd November will give the future guidance. So right now, the investors' confidence, the consumer sentiments are very bearish, and because if you see in the last 1 week, the equity markets and the bond markets are quite volatile, and this is a pure reflection of investor sentiments on the ground.
And the US is the world's biggest economy, and surely this stimulus package and the targeted stimulus package would or could help with global demand and products and services. Do you foresee this helping countries, exporting countries to the US, including Malaysia and possibly China?
Yes, the trade is still going on at a slow pace, but once the stimulus package is done and once after November 3rd, the election scenario is cleared, yes, the trade is going to move on. Many countries, they want to do business with U.S. Obviously, U.S. is the world's largest economy. But right now, because of the election, everybody is very concerned. But trade is going on at a very slow pace. But eventually, we see the trade will move at a faster pace in the 4th quarter or in the 1st quarter of 2021.
And Shan, you're very proud of the fact that you could predict the kind of the future to a certain extent. But with regards to the US election, do you know or do you have an inkling as to who's going to win?
Right now, what we gather from our sources in US, I think President Trump still is in a strong position. Joe Biden as a leader is not strong enough, although there are so many surveys coming that Joe Biden is leading by 20 points and 30 points. But on the ground, many Americans, they still want business. Mm-hmm. People want jobs. People want food. People want good standard of living. And President Trump says he's an entrepreneur. He's a man from the street. He understands business very well as compared to Joe Biden. He doesn't have any economic strategy. On the other hand, President Trump, whether we like him or not, he still have got some plan. He still have got economic strategy to turn around the economy. So I think on the ground, many Americans, they are still favoring President Donald Trump for this election.
And today is the debate between Mike Pence and also Kamala Harris. What do you expect, or what do you focus on for this debate?
I think they will be focusing on the healthcare, COVID, and economy in general. So I think COVID has taken a major portion and dominant position in the discourse of many policymakers globally, and economy obviously. So I think economy and healthcare would be the focus, and obviously they will have some political bickering going on. That's natural in US politics.
Dan kita akan pergi berehat seketika. Shan, please stay on the line. We'll continue the conversation with you shortly on the UEM Sunrise and also the Eco World merger. Kita akan pergi berehat seketika, kembali selepas ini.